Hey stamping friends, it's Sherry Parker coming to you live on Wednesday, May 21st. Coming live a little bit early tonight. I've got some things going on later on, so thank you if you're catching me early. If not, hopefully you can see me on the replay when it's convenient for you. I've got a really cute and easy card to show you tonight, and also just wanted to mention I will be having some online classes. You will learn more about these in the next few days, but essentially they're product-based classes where you purchase the product and then I will provide all the other materials that you need. I'll have an event at the house if you want to come and actually make the cards at my house, or you can choose to make them on your own because you will have the product and the supplies needed to make them. So more to come on that. And tonight I'm going to show you a really fun card, and I'm going to turn my camera over right now and we'll get started. All right, if you've seen our new catalog, you've probably noticed this suite in here called Florals and Bloom. It's really, really pretty, great stamp sets, die cuts, all the things, and designer series paper. So I didn't actually purchase the bundles just yet. You know, you can only buy so much at a time. So I bought a lot of the new products, and this is on my list, but I haven't purchased it yet, but I have bought the paper. So tonight I thought I would show you something fun where you can mix and match and things go nicely together, and you don't necessarily have to have the designated stamp set to coordinate with the designer series paper. And I'll show you what I mean in just a few minutes. So this suite is on pages 40 to 45 of our annual catalog. So it is an actual product that's in the catalog. A lot of our things are online, and some of the other items I'm using tonight are online exclusives. But to give you a little bit better glimpse of this designer series paper, it's 12 by 12, and you can see these prints are just beautiful. Very springy, florally on one side, and then on the reverse side, there's some nice patterns that would complement really any project. So this is the designer series paper that we'll be using tonight. The card that I'm going to be making is this one right here. And the inspiration came from one of the demonstrators in my downline, Rita Holmes. She designed this card. She also does Facebook Live videos, so very talented. And I loved this card she designed, and I wanted to reapply the design or the layout to a different set of designer series paper and stamps. So this is the card and how it opens. She used the Wildflower Birthday Suite, and I just love this. It's paired with the Everyday Arches die cuts, which these have been a hot commodity. I will tell you, I recently got them because they were unavailable for so long. Now I did check and they are unavailable again. But one thing I wanted to point out is now Stampin' Up! Has added a new feature. If there's a product that's not available when you're ordering, there is a prompt that will come up and they will email you if you check the box and put in your email address when the product becomes available. And then that way you can jump on it quickly and order whatever the item is. And this would be one of them. So I did think it was worth using it tonight just to show you that, you know, if you keep checking and you can put your email in there, you can eventually get these products. It may not be available today, but it could be available tomorrow. All right, so that's the Everyday Arches. And this is the card that we're going to be making tonight. This is using the Florals and Bloom Designer Series paper. And on the inside, I've used some stamps that are not the stamps that come with this suite. This is actually from the Impressions of Bloom stamp set. And I think it coordinates nicely. You know, all you do is just maybe pull in some of the colors from the designer series paper and you can make it work. So I did want to point this out that, you know, you don't necessarily have to have every combination of die cuts, stamps, and designer series paper to make a nice card. Use what you have. All right, we're going to get started on this fun card. Just to tell you what you need, the Everyday Arches, I cut out 3 for the background shape, and this is using the second largest die in these nesting dies, okay? Then I cut out 2 designer series paper arches, and these are the next size in, so the 3rd largest. And then I also cut a white one for the middle. Okay, so that's the supplies you'll need for the most of the card. For the base of the card, you'll need 2 strips here. They are 3.5 by 8.5. And on the 8.5 side, you will score at 4.25. And to create this base of the card, we're going to simply piece these together. So I'll use some of my Stamp and Seal. And I'm going to place this really from score line to score line. So I'm creating this nice accordion. Okay, so that is how this will fold up. So actually it's like that, so I did it backwards. Use my bone folder and then it'll open like that. So it's a very simple process here. I'm going to adhere the Designer Series paper pieces to their coordinating arches. So I'll do that for both of these. And then for the middle piece, which is white, we're going to stamp on that. Okay, so let those dry for a second and then we'll stamp on our white piece. So for this, for the inside, I'm going to be using the I Appreciate You from that Impressions Bloom stamp set. And I'm using the Shy Shamrock ink to stamp that right there in the middle. And then in the corner, I'm going to be using one of the flowers that I showed you. This is Pretty in Pink for the base of the flower. And then for the accent highlight part, I'm using Petunia Pop. You stamp that right on top. And then for the center, you know, use whatever color you want. I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. And then I'll stamp a couple leaves using my Shy Shamrock. Just have them kind of going off the edges here. And there you go. There's the inside of my card. So I will go ahead and adhere that to the middle piece. Now the fun part of assembling this. It's so easy. So take our base that we put together before, and we'll start with our back piece, okay? So we will go ahead and place that onto our card base. And remember, you're just gonna want adhesive towards the bottom. So I'll position it about like that. So it's centered within that panel. And then for this piece here, you know, I want it to lay completely over this one. So what I'm gonna do is actually turn it face down, and then I will put adhesive on this piece. And as soon as it's lined up exactly the way you want, all you need to do is just fold your piece in like that. See how easy that is? And then it'll line up perfectly. And then we'll do the same thing for the front. So that's just a little trick. You can get everything to line up just perfectly. And that is the front of our card. So when it opens like that. Isn't that so fun? So really, to finish the card, we will just put a quick greeting on there. And I've used my old trusty Nested Essentials. I use these constantly, as you probably know. And I'm gonna pick the second to largest banner die and cut that out with white cardstock. And I've got the Thanks So Very Much from our Impressions of Bloom stamp set, and we'll just place that right on there. To the left, with a Stampin' Dimensional or two. And hi Sheila, hi Donna. Thank you for joining, especially early. I know this isn't my normal time. I think the summer's gonna be tricky like that. We're doing a lot of traveling, lots going on. I think all of you probably have a lot going on as well. So it'll be hit or miss. I'm gonna try to stick to my normal time, but you know how things go. So thank you for your flexibility. I have a coordinating piece of Shy Shamrock ribbon that I positioned there on the front. And there you go. Isn't that so simple and cute? And this, again, it was inspired by Rita Holmes. I can't take any credit for this design. That was all her. And I wanted to show you also, I did another variation, same pack of paper, just used a different sheet of Designer Series paper. And I used the new Strawberry Slush in color, the ribbon, as well as the cardstock. And then I did actually use the arched greetings that coordinate with the Everyday Arches. But again, I used the flower from the Impressions of Bloom. So just, coordinate, use stuff you have. You can make things, you can mix and match. So I like to do that, and I'm not necessarily tied to a particular stamp set or bundle. All right, so that is our card. And remember, if you comment on or share my videos, you will have a chance to win the projects I make each week. So I do this every week, and I certainly love it when you engage and comment and share. And I love it when you try these projects at home and share them back with me, because I like to share them with others as well. Great. So along that same vein, last week we made 2 cards from the beautiful gallery suite. You might remember this if you tuned in. This fun fold here, as well as this card using that Designer Series paper and the 2-tone cardstock. So I'm going to draw 2 names from everyone who chimed in last week. I do appreciate you watching. First name, Sheila, look at that. You won this card here. So thank you so much for commenting on and sharing. And then the second card goes to Marion, Michelle Peck. So you are the card winners from last week. I will get these in the mail to you in the next few days. And again, if you comment on or share, this week, this is the card that I'll be sending out. So we'll draw that for that one next week. Thank you again for joining me. I do appreciate you, and I hope you're having a great week and that the rest of your week is wonderful as well. So have a great night. Thanks again for joining me early. I know that's not always convenient, so thanks. Have a great night. Bye.